I'm not sponsored by nor am I affiliated with any of the companies mentioned in this video. All opinions represented are mine and mine alone. They do not represent anyone besides myself. Your opinions may differ. That's okay. Try this stuff out for yourself to find out if it works for you.
Hi everyone, it's me, Krista. Welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. If not, welcome to the very first time to my little art corner here on YouTube. Today I'm going to be unboxing the SketchBox Premium box. How many times can I say box? The SketchBox Premium box for August 2019. I do want to point out this beautiful painting that is on the box here. It is by Jackie Storm, and her Instagram is at Jackie Art Storm. As always, it says, "Want your art on our boxes? Use the supplies in this box and tag us with hashtag Sketchbox." This is really well done. I'm pretty sure this is the watercolor box that we got a couple of months ago, because the previous one was markers and the one before that was watercolor. She did a really good job with a lot of the detailing, and I like how sharp the bird here is, and I like how abstracted and soft this background is. Even though there's still a lot of details, she definitely left it nice and soft, so it looks awesome.
And now we're going to talk about the art that is featured inside this month's box. The Sketchbox featured artist for August is Erin Ewer. Erin Ewer is an author and illustrator currently located in West Virginia. Originally hailing from Colorado, she graduated with a BFA from the Rocky Mountain College of Art and Design for illustration in 2008. She has always had a love for everything creative and enjoys learning new ways to shape and build her own world. This passion has most recently evolved into storytelling, and the combination of imagery and prose has created a synergy that allows her to bounce motivation off of one passion to the next. With watercolors being her preferred media, her focus centers primarily on nature and fantasy themes. She is heavily influenced by the natural world and desires to push the boundaries of what is and what could be. In her personal work, she strives to breathe life into the world she creates in her own imagination, and likewise as an illustrator to help others achieve the same for their own visions. It was never really a question to me about whether or not I was going to create. It was only ever a matter of what it was going to be. Her website is www.liquidfae.com, and her Instagram, Etsy, DeviantArt, and Facebook are all variations of Liquid Fae Studios. We're so thankful for the talent that Erin shared with us. If you'd like to get your art featured, email us an example of your work to info@getsketchbox.com.
Got this nice, cute little sticker. I like how they switched up the art on these a little bit, because usually it's just this like plain part, but got a nice little drawing of a little puppy dog. So cute. Now to get into that art supplies that came in this box. The first item is the Amsterdam acrylic ink in graphite. The retail price for this is normally $7.95, and this is a staff favorite. This month is all about acrylic ink. We love the fluidity of Amsterdam's acrylic ink. It lays down bold, opaque layers and can be thinned with water. The graphite color pairs well with the toned blue paper this month. So I'm assuming it's just kind of like a grayish color. We will have to see when we get into that project and some testing. Next, there are two Speedball Acrylic Inks, and they are 12 milliliters each. The retail price is $2.56 each. To provide more range with your palette this month, we included super white and super black acrylic ink. I have used this brand before. I believe the fashion sketchbox came with it in silver. That, of course, was reflective and a little bit different than these are going to be, but I am interested to see how these are going to play together. Acrylic ink is kind of a nice combo between the medium and fluidity of ink and then some of the opaqueness that acrylic has. So I am actually looking forward to using these. The following item is a Posca PC 3M 0.9mm fine tip in white. The retail price for this is normally $3.99. We included this water-based acrylic paint pen with a versatile fine tapered bullet nib to add highlights to your art. I've used a brush version of this. There was a red one. It's dead now. I know it came in some kind of subscription box. I don't remember which one now. I remember I liked it, but the one I'm thinking of dried out super quick. It was like 1 or 2 projects and done. And that right there is the tip. Pretty standard small bullet nib right there. And like always, with any kind of paint pen, you just shake it, press down the tip, shake it, press down the tip until you get the amount of paint to start coming out. Now we have the General Pencil Scribe all white and black, and the retail price for these is $1.89 each. These surface pencils are perfect for going over dried acrylic ink to add more dimension to your art. We included white and black to give you the option of creating gradients over the top of your acrylic ink. So basically you can add more texture and then a little bit more toning going on, which sounds pretty cool. Should be able to get quite a few different kinds of shades with this. I also noticed that on the pencil itself, it says that it's water soluble and that it can write on glass, metal, plastic, and wood. It's pretty cool. I'm going to be happy to have something a little bit more versatile pencil-wise in my collection. Next, there's the Caran d'Ache Water Brush Medium Tip, and this retail price is normally $9.89. This is also a staff favorite. We included one of our favorite water brushes so you can play with transparent washes of the acrylic ink or fill it to create your own brush pen. I'm probably going to just fill it with water and clean off the tip. I'd be worried about having anything that can kind of like dry and cake inside here, personally. And it's not like it's a dollar one or cheaper where you can kind of do that and it's not as big of a deal if you have issues cleaning it out. I don't want to ruin a $10 one just doing that. And it does have a really nice long thin tip there, and the bristles were pretty firm to begin with, but they warm up pretty well. They're getting softer as I'm touching them. And it looks like you can fill it like that. And this pulls back, so I'm wondering if it kind of works like a syringe system, probably. And then you push this little button here to get more water to come out. This box does come with a brush, a brushy brush, versus the water brush pen. This is a brushy brush. That is a technical term. This is silver brush in silver white and is 1/2 inch and it says stroke. The retail price of this brush is normally $10.45. With soft white synthetic bristles of varying lengths and widths, silver white trademark brushes hold color amazingly well while maintaining sharp edges. It's really nice and soft. The handle feels really nice in my hand. It also came with this big old pamphlet. They also have brush care videos at www.silverbrush.com. There's a lot of information in this pamphlet about how to properly take care of brushes and just some other information, including like email, phone number, etc. It's pretty cool. And I guess if you like these brushes, you can always find out how to get other ones by the same company, which is always helpful. It is quite the pamphlet they have here, and it has a lot of good info in it. So if you're interested in reading that, you can do it. The final item that came in this month's box is a Strathmore 4x6 inch mixed media toned blue paper pad. And the retail price for this is $5. This thick mixed media paper has a smooth surface which works wonderfully with the acrylic ink. The paper itself is toned blue for a truly unique experience. I'll probably try to leave like a little bit of the blue color showing through on the paper. And it's pretty thick, which is good because we're going to be using ink. And it is fairly smooth. It does have like a very slight tooth to it, but that will also be nice because it typically means it can stand up to wet media a little bit better when it has that slight tooth to it.
And here we're going to start getting into the drawing itself. For this project, I decided to start with the white pencil for sketching because it is lighter and I wasn't sure how erasable this was going to be. It ended up pulling up pretty well, surprisingly. I used an electric eraser I have that I did not turn on. I also wanted to do something a little different for this drawing. I feel like I've been drawing a lot of people, a lot of faces, a couple birds here and there. I wanted to do something a little bit more cartoony. And with the items that came in this month's box, I decided the best option was to revisit an idea that I had a long time ago that I've never really played with more. It was kind of envisioning certain characters from Alice in Wonderland in almost like a steampunk or robotic kind of fashion. And this is my version of that in the Cheshire Cat. I looked at the old sketch from my sketchbook, and that was like 10 years old, I want to say, and kind of played with it a little bit. I think there are certain things that if I decide to do more with this idea that I will change. I'll probably change like the actual arm part and just have the paws be kind of floating. Because my original idea for this was to have it be kind of like a little incinerator that floats with steam. And when you see like that invisible version of the cat, it's just it in a steam form. I did have a lot of fun doing this project 'cause it was just nice to play with. It didn't take me as long as some other paintings or drawings that I've done, especially recently. A lot of the art I've been doing recently off camera has been 10+ hour drawings or paintings, and unfortunately, I don't like filming those for YouTube because of how long the editing takes, and it usually will make the project take twice as long. So a 10-hour painting or drawing will turn into a 20-hour plus project, etc. Here I'm laying down the graphite acrylic ink, the Amsterdam one. It actually has a little bit of a shine to it, so it almost makes it feel like this steely gray color. I'm sure it's supposed to kind of mimic how you can get a little bit of shine with graphite. But this looks like it has some almost micro glitter kind of effect to it. Ends up being really pretty, especially on this paper. And I basically use that graphite ink to do a small base layer for everything. Just very loose, a lot of water, just to add like a little bit of that mid-tone. And I layer up on it to get some darker grays. The larger brush that came in here, the silver brush, the silver white one that's a 1/2 inch, I really only used it for part of the background, and for a paper this small, there's not really very many uses that I could think of for it. It's almost too big for the size of the project. I do think with larger projects I will end up using it quite a bit, but for this, just not quite that great. I did really like the Caran d'Ache water brush though. I was able to get a lot of different line weights with it. It worked pretty well. When I pressed the pump to get a little bit more water out, it didn't bring out too much water. I felt like I had a lot of control with this specific brush. I did not put the ink directly into the container of the brush, which I know it says you can do. I didn't want to risk it, but if any of you tried to do it, let me know in the comment section below how that worked out. I'm very curious. Tone-wise, like I said, I started with the medium acrylic ink, and then I started putting in the black. I also went back and forth between the graphite color and then that black. I wanted to make sure that I got my darker values in and my medium values in pretty well, and then went over it with the white. And as I said when I was opening up the stuff, I was expecting the acrylic ink to be basically a little bit more acrylic-like, more opaque, but be a little bit thinner than acrylic paint is, which is pretty much what I got. I wasn't able to get a lot of differentiation with the ink wash. Like I couldn't make it really light and watercolor-y, but that's probably just me. I did enjoy being able to use the general pencils in white and black over it, and I liked a lot of the sketchiness I was able to get over top of the inks. I thought it looked really nice that way. And the reason you are seeing a paper plate off to the side is that I actually used a paper plate for my palette this time, so I can kind of move the colors around a little bit more. I didn't want them to be too separated. The white ink is actually really nice and opaque and really bright. There's actually a point where I stopped recording after I got the white ink in there, and then I got the pencils over top of everything, and then I realized that I had forgotten to use the Posca pen. I don't really know if the Posca pen was necessarily needed in this box, because you are able to get some pretty opaque white with the ink, even laying it over the dried other inks. I do think that the Posca pen worked really well for bringing out highlights I already had further, but I didn't think it was a necessary addition to this box, considering we had the white pencil and then the white ink. I also did try to keep the inks from mixing as much as possible for this project and kind of glaze over it a little bit to pull stuff out. Using the white and black pencils to glaze over and add additional shading, I felt was honestly the best way to use them, that and for detail work. And as I said earlier, I really enjoy the effect it gave this. It gave it kind of like a rough, scratchy, sketchy look. And considering what the drawing is, I just think it worked really, really well. I'm actually looking forward to using these inks when Inktober comes around, because I think this year I'm going to actually attempt to participate. Usually I don't because of other obligations, but I think this year I should be able to do it. We will see. So to kind of recap everything we've used so far, I liked the Amsterdam acrylic ink in graphite. Like I previously said, I feel like it gives a nice texture and sheen to the entire thing. It's going to be really cool for certain drawings. Since it's a kind of darker, deeper, more steely silver, I think it's going to be great for specific projects. I'm looking forward to using this in the future, for sure. I think both the white and black acrylic ink by Speedball were pretty awesome too. They were nice and opaque. I can see myself using these for line work, and that white for highlights in colored pencil drawings, watercolor works. I can see myself using that a lot. The general pencils, Scribble in white and black, were pretty nice. I think they'll be helpful in some other things. I do want to try to use them on other surfaces, like they said you can, just figure it out. The white was pretty soft, the lead. It broke a couple times while I was using it, and I had to actually use my electric pencil sharpener in order for it to get a nice tip. Using my regular one, it just kept breaking. I really, really liked the Caran d'Ache water brush. I enjoyed how it works almost like a syringe. So you can have a cup of water and then just pull it back and it fills up that chamber inside. That way you don't have to worry about being able to just pour it in from a faucet and it going in correctly. It just makes that part super easy. And the way the tip was, I got really thick lines and I was able to get really thin lines with it too. Really, really like that. I'm very much looking forward to using that in the future, for sure. The silver brush in silver white half-inch brush, I liked it, and pretty much I said it already. I feel like it was too big for the size paper we're given for this project. I do think I am going to use it in the future though. It was soft, it seemed like it laid the color down pretty well. I'll have to use it for other stuff and see how much I like it there. The Strathmore mixed media paper actually held up pretty well. I didn't have my project taped down, as you can see, so it did curl slightly just because of the amount of water I used at the beginning. But I will say none of it bled through the paper. The paper held on to the inks and everything really well. I didn't have any issues of it lifting up or anything like that, which you can sometimes get from certain papers. I really liked it for this, and I'm looking forward to using that for some other stuff as well. I want to try to do some stuff where I leave a little bit of that blue actually showing a little bit more. Overall, I liked the box. I thought all the supplies worked pretty well together. I do think the larger brush and the Posca pen weren't really necessary, but overall, pretty cool. I'm also like this project. His creepy little smile just makes me really happy inside, because I'm a weirdo. But yeah, this project is pretty much done. As always, thank you so much for the time you took out of your busy day or night to watch this video. If you liked this video, please hit that like button. If you have any comments, questions, feelings, or concerns, or if you use this box, tell me your opinion in that comment section down below. I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear what you thought about the stuff that was in here. If you want to see more videos like this, please feel free to hit that subscribe button. I do Sketchbox and Art Snacks reviews once a month. Once again, thank you for taking this time to listen to me ramble about art supplies, and hopefully I'll be hearing from you soon. Bye!